Welcome to another Indie Dev Showcase, highlighting the many indie games we play here on the channel. If you'd like to submit a game for a future video, please reach out. But otherwise, let's begin. We are starting things off with Unplug. This is a kind of like a demo concept that we played back in 2022. Here, we play as a television monitor that can seemingly be thrown and inhabit or take control of various robotic bodies in this mysterious factory, where I'm sure nothing malicious or evil is possibly happening. This is a kind of puzzle action game, where each body type has a different power or ability to it. Your blue body can dash, one body can attack, and so on. In order to swap bodies, you, well, simply put, have to throw it at the nearest open body in order to take it over, and then kind of play leapfrog around in order to solve the various puzzles. Now, with this being a limited demo, meant that we really didn't get a whole lot we could show off here. If I had any issues with it, is that it did feel a little awkward in place to throw the head. You have kind of like a soft lock on, but it can still be a little weird sometimes trying to make like a precise shot. Still, there is some potential here as a kind of puzzle action game, and I don't know if the design team is going to do anything more with it, but this is still an interesting concept worth your time. And now we go to Potion Craft Alchemist Simulator. This is another game in the long line of simulator-esque titles on Steam. For this one, we play as the local alchemist, and it's up to us to brew a variety of potions, make lots of money, and keep our shop afloat. The kind of key element of this game is how the potion crafting is done. You'll gather various ingredients, either growing them in your backyard or buying them, that you use to kind of move this elixir on this massive table. When you hit certain nodes on it, this will affect the quality of the potion, what kind of potency it is, any kind of bonus effects, and all that will tie into your overall pricing. Once you've gotten your stock of potions, you can open up your shop and try to sell them to the various people, and of course, try and negotiate and get as much money as you can. The potion crafting side is really well done. There is certainly a lot to this one. I don't think it has like the same level of approachability as, say, I think it was like a Potionomics or one of those other ones that we tried, but this one certainly has some very interesting depth to it in terms of how you're running your shop and so on. So if you are a fan of the whole shop sim aspect and really want a game that is heavy on the sim and on the shopping, then you should give this one a check. And now we turn to I guess a different kind of a simulator with a walk with my dog. Here, you play as a guy who's out for a walk with his dog. That's it. If you're hoping for the Dark Souls of dog walking or some nightmarish eldritch thing to attack, this is definitely not that game. This one certainly leans towards the wholesome, cozy category, as you're free to explore the area, find various photos, pet your dog, play some fetch, and just have a good old time. This is not going to be the game for someone who's looking for a 8 to 10 hour long, super difficult game, but it's certainly a cozy and relaxing game to spend an afternoon with, and if you're a dog lover, then you should at least have some fun with this one. And now we go to something that is certainly going to be on the advanced side, and that is Sovereign Syndicate. The footage you're seeing is taken from playing the demo in late 2022 and may not represent the current version of it, and of course the game. Our simple explanation for this one is essentially Disco Elysium meets steampunk fantasy world. Some strange things are happening in the city, and you and a crew of people are going to have to try and figure out what is going on. The kind of hook of this one is that there's a lot that's going into character creation and character customization. You'll once again choose which specialties and how your character will grow, and this will affect your decision options as well as what you're able to do at any major point. I had kind of a hard time, at least in the demo, understanding what were my choices actually affecting, or how certain things were going to work. But the world that they are building is certainly an interesting one. And if you are someone who's looking for a very, again, like, narrative and decision-focused style game like a Disco Elysium, then this should be something that is on your list. And now we have something that is on the challenging side with Eldest Souls. This game follows in the line of a boss rush-centric style design, similar to that of Titan Souls, which I'm sure has no relation with Souls in the title. But what this game does, quite interestingly, is that there's a greater emphasis on being able to create different builds for your character. This is still a boss rush game. There are no minor enemies. Every battle takes place in a unique arena with a unique enemy, and you will have to figure out just what it is you can do to kill it before it destroys you mercilessly. So how the builds work in this one is that every time you kill an enemy or kill a boss, you'll gain some kind of artifact or item from them. This item can be equipped into various abilities, which will change the dynamic of it. You also have 3 styles of play that will affect how you do damage, how much damage you do, and your ability to recover health during combat. So this one is certainly on the advanced side. This is not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. You are going to die a whole lot in it. And because of the kind of upgrade system, it also means that the difficulty of the game is also going to be dependent on which bosses you fight first. Now, while you can explore the kind of overworld and there are quality of life upgrades, I wasn't a fan of having them like hidden as secrets, as some of them are quite useful, and in a game that's already this hard, I don't think they needed to make it even harder to get some very useful upgrades. So this is a game for the people who want an incredibly challenging game. And if you like boss rush focused design, then this should be an easy play for you. And for our last game of this week, we turn to another challenging game, but a different kind, with Joshua's Legs. In this game, you star as Joshua, the two-legged spider, not to be confused with Josh, the greatest video game player in the world. In this game, Joshua is trying to explore a very strange and dark world, and you're going to do that, well, quite literally, one leg at a time. You'll use 2 different analog sticks to control your left and right legs respectively, as you must walk, jump. You'll eventually get access to additional powers and other means to explore this world. The movement and physics is definitely on the harder side, despite me somewhat like jazz dancing my way across there. And this one, again, falls in like kind of the similar style of, say, a Jump King, Pogo Stuck, getting over it, that element. I don't know if I would classify this in like rage territory, as you are meant to make specific progress, find unlocks, and get more movement and ability text. But it's still very weird to control, as with any of these games. So I don't think this game is going to turn you into a fan of them if you're not already. But if you're looking for that kind of very challenging, very physics janky movement, and looking for one that is built a little bit more on progression and structure, as opposed to just lots and lots of Kaizo traps, then this one could be worth checking out. That's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to do the YouTubing stuff people tell you to do. If you're interested in more of my thoughts on design, check out my books wherever they are sold. Visit our Discord and Patreon, and come back for daily discussions on game design here, and on game wisdom, where you some of the art and science of games.